Grand rising, grand arrival, grand return. Peace and blessings to the righteous and the repentant alike. I am Sophia the Bodhi, and we're here for a quick video. I had to do something to my hair because I was like, can't be misrepresenting these energies out here. We got to be doing right by them to the best of our ability. So, somebody had mentioned to me that the energy was feeling a little weird, and there were things that was making them upset, okay? And so I wasn't necessarily feeling that energy. And so I was like, well, I understand what you're saying, but I just don't see it. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So last night I was thinking about this, like why I wasn't necessarily able to identify this energy. Now, I have been talking, if you've been listening to the discussions with CryptodeMedici about the Tyrre Kadeshi, basically, and rehabilitating all these entities and this whole thing with like the archangels and Michael and all of this stuff, right? I've been talking to him about it. I made a video or two about it, just questioning how all of this stuff was working out. So yesterday I was like, okay, I need to go and have a discussion with Semihazah, because that's Azazel. That's the one who they place all the sins of the world on Satan, on Azazel, on Semihazah. And so I was like, okay, I need to have a discussion, because, like, number one, how can you place all the sins of the world on one person? Number two, how can it be forever? So you're telling me these entities can never be reunited with the Creator when we never left the Creator. So that's literally a lie, It's not true, okay? So I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to ask him to take me to Semihazah, and something popped in my mind. And I'm going to say this as gently as I can. There are content creators who built their bases off their ability to channel the energy of Semihazah and make it entertaining. There's one in particular, but there's others who have done this same thing. And I'm not going to name names because it's unnecessary. And so what they did when they were channeling Semihazah's energy is that they made a promise to Semihazah that they were going to rehabilitate his image. And so instead of rehabilitating his image, they didn't. They lied. They lied to this energy because they didn't either. I'm not going to accuse people of being malicious, but I'm going to say this. Either they didn't know that this was a real energy that they were channeling, like a real energy that was separate from them, or they did know and they lied to him. I don't know which one it is, and it's not up for me to decide. I'm not the judge here. I'm just making an obvious statement. Either they knew or they didn't know, okay? So I've been trying to figure out why I'm not getting results. Now, I am the newest to this whole Hebrew Israelite thing. So those who worship the Black Messiah, the Black Messiah. Those who worship the Black Messiah, these Hebrew Israelites, Jesus, the Black Messiah, let's just say, the Black Messiah brought these entities to them to rehabilitate their image. Instead of rehabilitating their image, they literally abused them and manipulated them and used their images to build, to pad their pockets, energetically or physically, to come up, okay? They use these energies, these entities to come up, because the Black Messiah, descended into hell, quote unquote, to save his friends, which are these Tyrre Kadeshi. And instead of doing right by these Tyrre Kadeshi, which Derka just means incarnated. It's hanged. It's incarnated. It's the ones who came in through the portal. They incarnated. So instead of these Black Hebrew Israelites rehabilitating these their Kadeshi energies so that they could, rejoin the human race. They abused them, used them for clout, and basically dropped them when it was getting too hot. So enter me in 2022 when I'm just like, let me just do some videos and make some videos about this stuff. I was not a huge Hebrew Israelite person. I just was following, trying to see what other people were talking about, trying to gain knowledge. So I didn't know this whole thing about these entities and all of this stuff. I didn't know. And so I didn't see it as this whole thing about this whole rehabilitation, all of this. So now that this is coming to my awareness, again, this is someone who is very upset about how these entities have been abused, and I'm not really like putting two and two together. So when I was shown that, when I was given the feeling of, dang, they invested everything in various YouTubers who were supposed to rehabilitate their image because the Black Messiah sent them these people to rehabilitate their image, and they didn't. Not only did they not rehabilitate their image, which is bad enough, they literally made it worse. They made it worse with their own behavior. People knew who had read those books, the books of remembrance. People knew who had done deep dives into those books. Okay? They were supposed to read those books and say, wait a minute, hold up. These entities are bad? How? Like, I'm just trying to figure that out. They're supposed to do that. They didn't do that. So when they started to reach out to me, in general, these entities and the quote unquote Black Messiah reach out to me to try to have me work with these things. And so I don't know what I'm looking at. Like, I have no idea what this energy is. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's the angel. So I'm like, all right. So remember, from this channel, we've gone through all types of pantheons. Almost every pantheon on earth we have like touched in some way, shape, or form. We've gone through a lot of pantheons of energies here, and I'm like, I don't know who these pantheons are. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to work with, but we're going to keep looking until we figure it out. So I would say when I started to really put the Zolkin calendar together, I was like, wait a minute, the Der Kadeshi, they're in this calendar. Like, I knew that energy because I had read the books and I knew the energy from the books. And so I'm, starting to identify this, and I'm like, wait a minute. Wasn't the books of remembrance given to these Hebrew Israelite people? And they read the books. They adopted copious amounts of the language, but they didn't realize that they weren't describing the entities properly. Nobody realized. Same thing, like I said, with Zeta Kettlebob. Nobody ever tried to figure out how to pronounce her name and realize that Zedek was Zedek, like Thursday, like Jupiter. Nobody ever tried to figure out what her real name was, if she was an archangel. Like, nobody tried to put these pantheons together. Y'all are supposed to be the best and the brightest. I'm just some rando who walked off the street saying, oh, y'all Hebrew Israelites, y'all sound great. Let me see what y'all are talking about. I didn't know anything about any of this stuff. I'm not from no special bloodline. I'm not from no special family. None of that. I'm just a researcher who was like, well, energetically, I know what the energy feels like. I can identify energy. Let's just see what's going on. So I'm making this video because I just wanted to be clear that on this channel, we respect all the entities. We're not only respecting the ones that somebody else out there said was good and other people said that they were bad. No. We're respecting all the entities. Furthermore, effective immediately, the entity that is possessing the Michael seat, because again, all of these are titles, is removed because that entity was never Michael. Like, I'm not even going to get into that. But that energy was never the one who was the avenging angel. The avenging angel is Semihazah, a comet. We got Atlas 3I, Swan 2B. It's the comets that are the avenging angels. So whoever is possessing the Michael persona is removed, and Semihazah is replaced into that seat the way that he's supposed to be. And all of his angels are restored to the way that they're supposed to be. The Derkadeshi, just because they're incarnated doesn't mean they're bad. Just because they're the quote-unquote watchers doesn't mean they're bad. They're the ones who taught us, i.e. Eve, that we were being abused by the deceiver. It's the same thing that happened in the Bible. It's the same thing that happened in the Adam and Eve story. We were being abused. Hello, we were being abused. And Semihazah and all of these quote-unquote Derkadeshi, which is just incarnated ones, came through and was like, yeah, we're not going to let y'all go out like this. You know you're naked, right? What? Oh, I didn't know I was naked. What do you mean I'm naked? What is that? They gave us the knowledge of good and evil. How could that be an evil thing? The one who told us that we was engaged in wickedness is not evil. Your ass needs to give the wickedness up. You're the evil one for engaging in wickedness. Once you're told, hey, you know that's wicked, right? You're going to stop. But they lied to us, the deceiver and his prophet lied to us, told us we was engaged in righteousness when it was really wickedness. And when those incarnated ones tried to come and tell us, hey, you guys are doing some wickedness down there, the Hebrew Israelites decided, yeah, we like the wickedness. We need a king. Remember, we need a king. That's what they said. Give us a king. So they gave him Saul. That wasn't a good enough king. No. Then they got Solomon. Then they got David. None of these entities are good enough. They gave him queens, Cleopatra, and that whole line. Also not good enough. So, whoever is possessing Michael energy and the other traitors that's in the 7 archangels, y'all are removed. Semihazah and his crew is coming in. Now, some of those angels in those archangel realms are actually doing their job the way they're supposed to. So, them ones is fine. But specifically Michael, Camael, and Saphkiel, which is Saturday. Raphael, I think, is okay. He's getting the messages out the best way he can. But the messengers he's going to, there's something wrong with them. So, Michael, Camael, and Saphkiel. Y'all are dismissed. Whoever's in those positions, y'all are dismissed. Semihazah and your crew, y'all come on in. Get the job done. And so I'm requesting that if this is acceptable to the creator, because it's not me, I'm just the procla, I'm the voice proclaiming the things that I'm being told. If it's acceptable, then let the creator, let my paperwork go through, and all the people who learn from me, let our paperwork go through the way it was supposed to. Let things be put back in order. And Michael, the new Michael, the semi-Michael, semi-Michael, or Michael Azazel, whichever you want to call him, can make sure everything gets enforced, and he can do the avenging, because that's what he's supposed to do. I mean, the fact that they took away Michael's energy from what he was supposed to do, this nutcase Netanyahu believes he's in Michael energy. That's why he came over here on our land on Michael's day, Michael Mas, to think, oh yeah, I'm showing up. This is my holiday that they set for me. Nuts. So, you're being removed. Thanks, but you're no longer needed. Michael, Camael, Saphkiel. Thank you, but no thanks. You all are removed. Let us bring in Semihazah and his team so that they can get the job done. It's their jobs. It was never y'all's jobs. Y'all just made them believe they needed to go to a human like Enoch and get Enoch to write their petitions for them. Write your own petition. No, don't worry. I wrote your petition, and the Creator is going to give us confirmation whether our petition is being accepted or not. So what I'm asking for, very specifically, if this petition is accepted, for all the paperwork that my people, meaning y'all know who my people are. If you're one of my people, you know what I mean. Because all of our stuff has just been like in limbo, like purgatory, right? Let our paperwork go through, let it be processed properly, and let us receive the avenging justice that we deserve for what we've already done. Not do more, not continue on, none of that. No. Let us receive avenging justice for what we've already done. That's what I will like to see, and like to know that we have done the right thing. So the Creator can be as creative as he wants to in letting us know, but that's what we want to know. We want to know that our paperwork was not done in vain, and that we haven't been spending a year going through learning all of this stuff for nothing to come from it. And I would like it to be enforced by Semihazah, because he is the one who is our avenging angel, not this whoever Michael is, whoever is in Michael's seat. Get the hell out of his seat. Let Semihazah sit down. You've been dethroned. Go back wherever you came from to do whatever you was doing before you lied to Semihazah, Azazel, and the rest of the crew. We don't like you. You're not like us. Get the hell out of here. Okay? That's all I have to say. Shalom, peace, and blessings, and we'll see you in the next video.